These are organic sweet potatoes. These are not cheap, and I don't want to throw out any bit of them in the garbage. I always thought they were friends, and you could put them together in a dark, cool place, and everything would be good. Into a dark place you go, little potatoes. Onion, see you later. Oh. In today's video, I'm going to share my must-know hacks for preventing food waste and also saving money on our grocery bills, because can we just talk about how expensive food is right now? It's crazy, and these tips are not only going to be good for the planet, but also our wallets. I'm going to show you how to get the most out of your food and make it last even longer. Let's get right into it. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I post here every single week. I do mommy stuff, recipes, what I eat in a day, family vlogs, all the things, and I don't want you to miss out on a future video. First, let's chat citrus fruit. Did you know you can actually freeze these? Honestly, do not overlook your freezer. The freezer is your best friend when it comes to saving money and getting your food to last longer. So when it comes to citrus, if you buy a lot of them and you just don't know what to do with them, maybe you thought you were gonna make lemon water for every single morning this year and you just haven't done that, then you can actually pop them into the freezer, and then that way you can use them for zesting and also for juicing. You will actually get more juice out of them when you freeze your citrus. So I like to do just lemons and limes because I can use these in recipes, and I can still throw them in a smoothie or juice them if I wanted to. Ooh, do we think I can juggle with 3? That's all I want in life. Oh, imagine. Hang on, this is gonna be it. Oh, no. If you're crazy like me and you have endless amounts of bananas, here's what you gotta do. First off, if you don't want them to go all ripe at the same time, you wanna separate them. When they're together, they let off gases that are gonna make them ripen faster. This is great if you want them to go ripe. You can put them in a paper bag and even add in like an avocado in there if you want the avocado to get ripe too. But if you don't, you wanna separate them so that they're actually not letting off all the gases and making friends and getting all spotty. A bonus hack is to not store them in your fruit bowl with all of the other fruit, like your apples and your oranges and stuff, because it's gonna make them ripen faster too. So have a designated banana section. And then lastly, you can also wrap the stems. That's why this actually came from the store like that. So you could just save this and use it on your next batch of bananas. But this will help it slow down the process. But basically just store your bananas by themselves because they don't want to be friends with anybody else. All right, I cannot remember the last time I threw out bread because I freeze it or I put it in the fridge. So when I first get it, I put it in the fridge, and you always want to buy sliced. That way it's not all just sticking together. It is really hard and probably dangerous to cut frozen bread, so I would not recommend that. Get it pre-sliced so when it's in the freezer, you can easily take out what you need, pop it into the toaster, and you have delicious bread. Bread does not go bad or like taste weird in the freezer. If anything, it preserves its freshness, and I cannot recommend it enough. This is the only way we store our bread. So if you're still storing your bread on the counter in one of those like bread garages, you are doing it wrong. Put it in the freezer. It's gonna last so long. You're always gonna have bread on hand, and you're never gonna have to throw it out. Also, if you do have stale bread, you can turn it into croutons. Extra tip. Give you guys extra tips in this video. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I threw out bread. Never. Always have bread. If you have a loaf of bread like this that's stale, that's been left on the counter, it's getting a little hard, that is not moldy. If you have moldy bread, you gotta compost it and get rid of it. You can just run it under water and then stick it into the oven. I'm gonna have all the directions down below, and it is gonna bring it back to life. The inside is gonna be soft and just like it's been freshly baked. The outside will be crispy in a non-stale way, and it's gonna be delicious. So it's a great way to just revive that stale loaf of bread. Let's talk fresh herbs. Honestly, this smells delicious right now in my kitchen. So when you buy these from the store, do not leave them in the plastic produce bags. You wanna make sure you are treating them like flowers or wrapping them in paper towel and sealing them to absorb that excess moisture. So there's 2 ways you can do it. There's my favorite way and then my sister's favorite way, so I'll mention both. All you're gonna do is place this into a glass jar or a mason jar with some water, just like you would a bouquet of flowers. Now, the trick is to actually then cover it, and I feel like that just creates this like ecosystem for it, and it just thrives. Your fresh herbs will last weeks. Like, I mean weeks in the fridge. It's actually crazy. It doesn't work for all herbs, but things like dill, parsley, cilantro, I forget how I say it, work really good with this method. And if you're doing the second method, you can take a paper towel, wet it, wring it out really well, and then wrap it and then store it in either a sealable bag, can be silicone or plastic, whatever you have that you're reusing, and that's gonna stay good in the fridge for weeks as well. So either way you do it, don't just like leave it like this. They're gonna get wilty and gross and slimy within like days, and then you're not gonna have fresh herbs for when you need it. Okay, so this one applies to those who have a dog, but if you do have a dog, like our sweet little Cashew, who is turning 4 this month, which makes me so sad, but also she's like such a grown-up and just living her best life. If you have a dog and you're trying to feed them the best, but you also are like, dog food is so expensive, especially like the natural treats, you can just make a lot of treats at home. So this is a great way, not that we want to feed our dogs like garbage, but there's a lot of food that may be starting to go off or you're getting rid of entirely, and you could actually be giving them delicious homemade dog treats that they will love, and it's good for them. So things like when your apples are starting to go a little wrinkly or soft, maybe they're just not as crispy as you like them, I will slice them up, spread some nut butter, usually peanut butter on them. If I say the word, she's probably gonna come running. And I pop them in the freezer, and then they're just like these yummy little snacks that she can have throughout the day. Apple is great for their breath and helps clean their teeth, and the peanut butter helps her munch them down. So that's a great hack. And then also sweet potatoes. Every time I roast sweet potatoes, I will cut the ends off, and then those go into the compost. These are organic sweet potatoes. These are not cheap, and I don't wanna throw out any bit of them in the garbage. So instead I take the ends and I roast those separately. Sometimes I'll put some coconut oil on them, but I don't salt them or season them. And then those are gonna be great once they cool down for dog treats. I can also throw them in the freezer so they last longer. There are so many different ways that you can use food leftovers to make delicious, healthy dog treats. And I'm gonna share some more over on my TikTok account. So make sure I'll have a link down below. Make sure you follow me there to see all these in action. And the third one that I'm not gonna mention here. Chop and freeze your overripe produce. So this is great for things like bananas and avocados. I actually got these very ripe avocados today at the grocery store. A lot of grocery stores will have like a almost bad / like 50% off section. So what you're gonna do is buy those. You can also find sometimes ripe bananas if you're looking to make banana bread like that day. But buy those, get them half price, and then peel them, chop them, freeze them, and then you have them ready for baked goods, for smoothies. I've been adding avocado now to my morning smoothie for extra fiber and healthy fats, and it's delicious. So I just prep that all, I freeze it, and then it's never gonna go bad, and I just got my groceries for half price. I bought this head of kale last night, and it's looking a little sad. So if you have produce in your fridge that's also looking like this, I'm gonna show you how to bring it back to life. Veggies have a lot of water in them, so when they get dehydrated, they often start to wilt and look not as pleasant. So if you're adding it to, say, a soup or stew, it doesn't really matter, but if you wanna make a fresh kale salad, like this isn't gonna do it. You're going to slice off the end of the kale stem so that you have a fresh cut. This is gonna help absorb water and bring it back to life. Fill a mason jar with some ice water, and then just pop in your kale with the stem side down. You can leave it overnight, and when it's done, it's like brand new. It's actually kind of crazy, and it's gonna be the freshest kale you've ever seen. Just listen to this. You hear that crispiness? That's fresh. This method works on other things like broccoli, celery, asparagus, fresh herbs, and it's just gonna make them delicious again. I don't know about you, but when I buy fresh berries from the grocery store, not that it happens that much in the winter because I prefer frozen when it's not in season, but they just don't last. And I mean, it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. I feel like berries just get moldy so fast, and they're expensive, and you maybe can't eat them as fast as the mold is growing. So what you're gonna do is actually soak them in some water with vinegar. You can use white vinegar. I like apple cider vinegar. Let them soak for like 5-10 minutes. Give them a really good rinse. Dry them, and then you're gonna have mold-free berries. They're gonna last way longer. You wanna also store them in a container lined with paper towel just to soak up that excess moisture. You wanna make sure that the lid is popped up a bit so air can flow through, or it's in a container that has airways. I know some people say don't wash your berries at all until you use them, but I find mold grows on them either way, so the vinegar is gonna help kill and prevent that mold from starting in the first place. Okay, I have to admit, I actually didn't know this until recently, but you do not wanna be storing your onions with your potatoes. I always thought they were friends and you could put them together in a dark, cool place and everything would be good. But no, the onions actually give off an ethylene gas that is gonna make the potatoes sprout and go bad faster. So you do not want them together. Even better if you can store your potatoes in a brown paper bag in a dark, cool place. That also does not mean the fridge. I was also guilty to doing that. You do not want them in the fridge. I think it makes them like darker and like changes the flavor of them. So a dark, cool place is the way to do it. You can also freeze them if you peel them and parboil them, but that's a whole other video. Into a dark place you go, little potatoes. Onion, see you later. Oh. Okay. This next one you can either do with a dish towel or paper towel. We used to be a paper towel free household, and then we had a baby and she became a toddler, and now we have a crazy messy 2-year-old running around everywhere, and paper towels are life. So we definitely have them now, but you can do this with a dish towel instead. So what you're gonna do is take your towel and line your produce drawer in your fridge, and since veggies give off gases and moisture, it's gonna soak up anything that is at the bottom, so your veggies stay dry and crisp and will last way longer. All right, there you have it. Ways to make your food last longer, save some money on your grocery bill. Like I said, food is so expensive nowadays. I feel like I'm trying to find ways to use up any bits of food where I can. And if you guys want more food hacks, I will have a playlist down below, and also I will have more videos coming because I have a lot more where this came from. I was just getting you guys warmed up. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on a future video. I post here every single week, and if you don't yet have a copy of the Baby HealthNut Cookbook, I will link that down below. It's filled with over 30 recipes. I started feeding my daughter Sage when she was 6 months and up, and she is now over 2 and still eating out of that cookbook, and I'm working on number 2. I'm telling you guys this so I can keep myself accountable and launch it hopefully in the next few months. So thank you so much for everyone who's already purchased a copy, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.